Welcome back to another exciting day of mathematics. Whoop, whoop. Warm-up 130 is on the screen, but you can copy that later. I want to get started with a study guide to finish it off today. So, copy the agenda, warm-up 130, semester 2, concepts and skills. Tonight's home play, numbers 22 to 34, so we can finish this up. Copy that. All right, here's the code to access the presentation for today. DHJVW. DHJVW. And at the beginning, once again, the study guide will be there. So, all right, so yesterday I left you a video with numbers 20, I think 20, 21, 22, and 23, I believe. Something like that. Out of Canvas, is that correct? Yes, Mr. Q? Yes? Yes? All right. However, today I'm going to go over 22 one more time, so let's get started, please. Get that one in front of you. Says, identify the zeros, vertical asymptotes for that. So let me zoom in really quick. So if you write that again on your paper or write it on the side, first thing we do, remember we always start with trying to factor top and bottom. We start with the top. 3, -4. What two numbers multiplied give me 3 when you add them give us -4? That's -3 and -1. That means my factors are x minus 3, x minus 1. The denominator would be what? That to the 1 on the GCF. Question. Look up. Is there any giant ones that I can get rid of here in this fraction with those factors? No. If there isn't, then don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. Let's do long division. So let's go over here to the side. Let's do long division of x squared minus 4x plus 3 divided by x plus 2. So what times x gives me x squared? Well, that is x. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. Subtract, distribute that here and here. So that leaves us with -6x. Bring down the +3. Let's do it again. What number times x gives me -6x? That's -6. -6 times x is -6x. -6 times 2, -12. We're going to subtract again, distribute that here and here. This cancels. That leaves us with 15 as a remainder. So what is the answer for that, Mr. Q? Well, the answer is this, x minus 6. But do we have a remainder? Yes. Plus 15 over x plus 2. However, that looks kind of funky, because this needs to go where? In the back. So we're left with, oh my bad, and the 15 has to go where? In the front. So we end up with 15 times 1 over x plus 2. And then at the end we're going to do plus x minus 6. That's our g of x. So, looking at this new transformation, tell your neighbor what the VA is. X equals what? What's our VA? Enrique, what's our VA? The what? Negative 2. Yeah, because we set up the denominator equal to 0 and we solve. Yes. Negative 2. Our HA, or f of x, is whatever is at the end. Before it was just one number, now we have x minus 6. So let me zoom out. Let's first look for the graph that has our VA, which is at negative 2. Which one has an invisible line going through negative 2? Let's see. Is there an invisible line going through negative 2? Looks like this one, yes. This one, yes. This one, no. Nor this one. This is going through a positive one, so no. So right now we are in these two right here. Next, our f of x, or our HA, let me make that bigger, f of x equals x minus 6. If I was to graph this asymptote, where do I start? At negative 6. Let me start with this one. Negative 6 is about right there. And then the slope is 1 up, 1 to the right. 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right. Okay, let me see this one. Negative 6 is down here. Which is the correct answer, people? Correct answer is A. Why not this one, Mr. Q? Because the asymptote cannot touch the graph. And notice here the asymptote is crossing the graph. Bless you. All right, let's go to number 23, Michael Jordan. When you get to this one, we have a squared on the denominator, and we have a number on top. So when you get to number 23, let's go straight to long division. So let's do that. Hold on. So let's write out 2x squared minus 18 divided by x squared minus 16. So, what number times x squared gives me 2x squared? All right, good. 2 times x squared is 2x squared. 2 times negative 16 is negative 32. We're going to subtract. That means distribute that here and here. That cancels. That leaves us with positive 14 as a remainder. So what is the answer to that division? It's 2 plus 14 over x squared minus 16. However, that 2 can't go there. We send that to the back. And the 14, we send it to the front. So we end up with 14 times 1 over x squared minus 16. And at the end, plus 2. And all that equals to g of x. So from here, find out our VA, x equals. What do we do to find the VA for that one? Tell your neighbor, and then Gio is going to enlighten us. What shall we do to find the VA for this one? All right, Gio, what do we do? You said set it equal to 0 and solve. Very good. So, plus 16 plus 16, x squared equals 16. Square root, x equals plus minus 4. So what does that mean, Mr. Q? That I have two VAs. X is positive 4, x of 2 is negative 4. Two VAs. What's our HA? F of x equals positive 2. So let me zoom out. start with our HA, positive 2 HA. Let's see. Positive 2. No, this one's not it. Positive 2. No, that one's not it. Positive 2, yes. Positive 2, yes. Okay. So far, B and D. Next, our VA is positive 4 of X and negative 4 of X. Positive 4 of X, negative 4 of X. Okay. Positive 4, wait. This one, hold on, let me zoom in just to double check. Positive 4 is right here, and the graph is going to positive 4, so it cannot be that one. So the correct answer is B. Once again, all you have to do is match your VA and your HA. All right, let's go to number 24. Let me zoom in. Once again, let's start with factoring. 15, 8. What two numbers multiply give me 15 when you add them give us 8? Mario? 5 and 3. So my factors are x plus 5, x plus 3. The denominator, since it doesn't have any GCF, the GCF is going to be 1, so 1 times x plus 5. All right. So, can we take anything out, people? Yes. The x plus 5. And that leaves us with x plus 3 over 1 or x plus 3. And all that equal to g of x. However, didn't we take something out, people? Yes, we took this out, Mr. Q. That is our whole. So we need a coordinate for the whole. So I take x plus 5 and set it equal to 0. Let's solve. Minus 5 minus 5. X equals negative 5. So now I need a g of x or a y. What do I do for that? Well, you take this but instead of x, I'm going to substitute what? Negative 5. So g of x equals negative 5 plus 3, that's negative 2. All right, so we have two pieces of information now. We have a whole, and we have this function simplified to our new function. So question, do we know how to graph this? Look up. Yes, Mr. Q, because it comes from f of x equals mx plus b, where the m is our slope, and the plus b is our y-intercept. All right, but I want to start with the whole. Let me zoom out. The whole should be at negative 5, negative 2. So let's check that for each of these. Negative 5, look at this whole. Negative 2 should be over here, so that means this one is not correct. Let's check C. Negative 5, negative 2. Yeah, there's a hole right there. So far, that one is correct. Negative 5, negative 2. No, there's no hole there. And negative 5, negative 2. Bless you. No. So the only possible answer is C. Go to number 25. Here we get with exponential functions. So when you get to these, let me zoom in. Let's start with our parent function. F of x equals 2 to the x, so label this one f of x. And what did we do for graphing on this one, guys? We only used 2 points, is that correct? 0, 1, and 1, 2. You guys remember that? Yes? All right. So, with that said, look at those 2 points, and look at our new function. Tell your neighbor where we're going to move these 2 points. Where are we going to move those 2 points according to that? Gio, pass them one. Enrique, where are you going to move it? Three. To the right. And 4 down. 3 to the right, 4 down. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, let's match that one to the possible answers. Which are our possible answers, guys? Tell your neighbor. Is it A? No. How about C? No. How about D? No, it moves it up, so the correct answer is B. You can barely tell, but let me bring it up. Hold on. Yep, there it is. It moved it to the right and down. All right, let's go to logs. Now, before I get started with logs, quick recap. Look up to the screen. We have a general rule for transformations that looks like this. Look up, don't copy this. And we have A times, parentheses, x minus h plus k. And then we have a fraction here, 1 over b. Does that look familiar? Yes? All right, but then we apply that to a bunch of functions such as quadratic, such as cubic, such as rationals, yes, such as exponential, yes, and then we got to the logs, and I gave you this in the Freire model, and it looks something like this, A times log b, x minus h plus k. But if you notice, all of them have the a, that is a multiplier, that if you multiply times the whole number, it stretches. Fraction, it does what? It compresses, yes? Same thing with b's. All those b's, I can write the b's in here as well. What does the h do to all of them? Remind your neighbor, what does the h do to all of them? Caesar, h does what? Left or right? And everyone, what does k do? Enrique, since you were the one that answered that last question very confidently, what does k do? Yeah, up and down. So with that said, let's go to number 26. Let me zoom in. It says, the graph of which function is vertically stretched by 3? Vertically stretched by 3. and translated 4 units to the right. All right, they give us logs and they give us exponential. So let's start with the exponential. Look at this one. Let me zoom in. Look at this one. Where's that one moving to? Tell your neighbor, what direction are we moving that one to? Elijah. To the left. And what are they saying to move it to which direction? To the right. So it cannot be C. This one is moving it to the right. However, this 3 does not go there. The 3 is supposed to go in the front in order to stretch. So it cannot be that one. Let's go to logs. From those 2 logs, tell your neighbor which one has a multiplier of 3 and we're moving it to the right. Tell your neighbor which one it is. Multiplier of 3, moving it to the right. Joseph, which one? B, that is correct. Moving it to the right, and 3 is our multiplier. That is correct. Go to number 27. Evaluate the log 4, 1 over 16, by using mental math. Woo. All right. However, we're not going to use mental math. Let's use some mathematics. Let's set this equal to y equals to log 4, 1 over 16. So what do we do then? Change it into exponential. Is that correct? So we end up with 4 to the y equals 1 over 16. Next, we need to have the same base. 4 to the y equals 1 over 4 to the what, people? 4 to the what gives us 16? To the 2. It almost looks the same. However, we need to bring this one to the numerator. So we end up with 4 to the y equals 4 to the what? 4 to the what? Tell your neighbor, and then Mario's going to enlighten us. 4 to the what? When we bring it to the numerator. Mario. -2. Yeah, this positive 2 turns into a negative. And last but not least, are these the same base? Yes. So what is the answer? Y equals -2. Correct answer is letter C. Go to number 28. Very similar. Here we go. Set it equal to y equals to log 4, 64. Exponential. 4 to the y equals 64. Let's do same base. 4y equals 4 to the what gives me 64? Let's see. 4 times 4 is 16. Times 4, that's 24. We got 2. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2, that's 64. How many 4s? 1, 2, 3 of them. So this is to the third. So answer, y equals 3. Correct answer is B. All right. Let's go to number 29. Let me zoom in. All right. So what is the first thing we check, people? Let's see if you remember. Do they have the same base? Yes. Is it addition or subtraction? Oh, it's subtraction, Mr. Q. All right, so remind your neighbor, what do we do with subtraction? What do we do with subtraction? Well, we write one log. And what happens to the given numbers? What happens to the given numbers? Tell your neighbor. All right. What happens to the given numbers, Gabriel, when we subtract two logs of the same base? Yes, divide. 64 divided by 4. All right. So I'm going to set this equal to y. So we end up with y equals log 2. 64 divided by 4 is 16. All right. Exponential. 2 to the y equals 16. Same base. 2 to the y equals 2 to the what gives me 16. Tell your neighbor. How many times itself to 2 gives us 16? Let's see. 2 times 2, 4. Times 2, 8. Times 2, 16. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer is y equals 4. All right, go to number 30. Let's see, what do we check first? Do we have the same base? Yes. Do we have a subtraction? No, we have addition now. Tell your neighbor what to do with the given numbers once you have addition. Remind them, what do we do? Well, first we write one log. And what happens to the given numbers? Gabriel, pass them one. Rachel. Multiply 6 times 4.5. So we end up with, and set it already for equal to y. We end up with y equals log 3. 6 times 4.5, that's, let's see, 4.5 times 6, 30, we got 3, 24 plus 3, that's 27, 1 decimal, so that's 27. Do we know what to do from there? Yeah. Exponential function, so this becomes 3 to the y equals 27. That is 3 to the y equals 3 to the what gives me 27. 3 to the what, Jesus? Three to the what, Jesus? To the third. So that means y equals 3. Y equals 3. Some of you are like, Mr. Q, this is a piece of cake. Let's go. Choco flan. Go to number 27. Once again, set it equal to y. Wait a minute, this is kind of weird, isn't it? Who remembers this rule? Are these the same base? No. What happens to that number? What is going to happen to that number? Talking to your neighbor. What shall we do with that number? Yeah, you bring it to the front. It's the power rule. -3 times log 327. So we're going to set this equal to y. So that means -3 times, let's write the log in same base, log 3 and 27 in base 3, and Jesus said it's 3 times 3. Y equals -3 times, look up, if we have a log that the base is the same as the given number, tell your neighbor what the answer is for that. What is the answer just for this piece? If the log has the same base as the given number, the answer is what? Pass someone, Jesus. Sammy? If the log has the same base as a given number, the answer for this portion is the exponent on the given number, which is 3. So if I would have had log 23 and the given number is 23 and the exponent is 7, the correct answer for this would be 7 because it's the exponent on the given number. All right, so therefore, y equals -3 times 3 is -9. And that one is letter D. All right, and I think this is the last one on the logs. Here we go. It says solve 3 to the x plus 15 equals 81. So to get started, guys, let's make this one the same base as that one. So we got 3 exponent of x plus 15 equals 3 to the what gives me 81. How many times do we multiply the 3 times itself to give us 81? Tell your neighbor. Renzo, how many times? Let's see, he said 3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. Another times 3, that's 81. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. However, look up, what was there already? An x. So you need to bring that x down right next to that 4. So from there, question, are these the same base? Yes, Mr. Q. So now we just focus on the numerators. On the exponents. We got x plus 15 equals 4x. Let's solve. Let's get all x's to one side. Which one do you want to move? Gio, which one shall we move? The x or the 4x? The x. So what do? To get rid of the x, what do? Subtract x, and this is 15, not 5. There it is. So we end up with 15 equals 3x. And last but not least, divide by 3. 5 equals x. Correct answer is letter C. Ooh-wee. And that brings us to our last page. Let's go. All right, the unit circle. Before I go over this one with you, talk to your neighbor, let them know what are the 3 points here, the coordinates. Tell your neighbor the coordinates of just these 3 really quick. Do that right now. Talk it over to your neighbor. All right. So when you get to this one, look up. First things first. Ready? All right. Start with this point right here. You always start with half square root 3 over 2. So I'm going to show you my shortcut in filling this out. Next, I'm right here. Look up. I'm on this one. From there, I'm going to skip the middle one, and I'm going to go to this one. And that one is the same coordinate, but switching them. Square root of 3 over 2, 1/2. Everybody see what I did? Yeah. And then this is the easiest one because it's just square root of 2 over 2 twice. So, from there, all I have to do is go this way. Imagine a mirror right here. So what goes here? Oh, this one. 1/2 square root 3 over 2. However, now on this side, the x's are negative. So that means this one is square root 2 over 2, square root 2 over 2. This is negative. And this one is square root 3 over 2, 1/2, with this one negative. From there, I'm going to do a mirror image going out this way. So that means this is square root 3 over 2, 1/2. But now the x and the y are negative, both of them. Square root 2 over 2, square root 2 over 2, both of them negative. 1/2 square root 3 over 2, both of them negative. And then this way, 1/2 square root 3 over 2. However, over here, the x is positive, the y is negative. Square root 2 over 2, square root 2 over 2, with the y negative. Square root 3 over 2, 1/2. So with that said, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. So with that said, question, it's asking, select the corresponding coordinates for quadrant 2. Quadrant 2, what do we know about quadrant 2? That the x's are what? Negative. So the correct answer is, these are all positive, these are all negative. This one, the y is negative, so the correct answer is A. And the last one, number 34, let's go. Sine of angle B. Right away when you get to that one, circle your angle B and put yourself in that position because you need to look at the triangle from that view. So, they want us to get sine of angle B. Sine of angle B is opposite over hypotenuse. So look at the triangle. Tell your neighbor which one is the hypotenuse. Which one is our hypotenuse? Yeah, the longest side, which is what? 13. All right, so if we look at it through that lens, which side is opposite to angle B? Which one is opposite? 12. And which is the hypotenuse? 13. So the correct answer is C. All right, I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time to go back to the beginning. Get started one more time. Those of you following on YouTube, make sure you put in some practice with the study guide that's in this presentation with that code. See you guys next time. Peace.